So I wanted to do a reaction video today. What is something horrifying and depressing that I see all the time? And so I decided to do a reaction video to the news. More specifically, I'm going to do the news feed on my Facebook page. And so I'm pretty liberal, so that will probably be covered or slanted or seen when I read this particular news feed. And I'll link to all of the things that I click on down below in case anyone wants to go and read any of it for themselves. And so let us see here. Here we are. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to sort of pick things. So California orders statewide mask mandate. I don't really care that much. Should I tell my girlfriend's kids the truth about their father? Okay, that doesn't really feel like news to me, but I am intrigued. I can't lie. Okay, J.K. Rowling. Okay, I guess she's saying more transphobic stuff. I don't really want to deal with that. Britney Spears is a message for Diane Sawyer. Okay, I mean, I was kind of into this Britney Spears, Free Britney stuff, but she's free now, right? I don't really care what she's going to say to Diane Sawyer. Here's an interesting one. Okay, how liberal America reacted to the devastating tornadoes that ripped through Kentucky. Okay, so this is interesting because I actually have not heard of these tornadoes yet. It's interesting. The first thing I'm reading on this is not about the tornadoes, it's about liberal America, right? This is Town Hall. A string of strong and violent storms ripped through the southern United States. Death toll could be as high as 100. Okay, so that looks pretty bad. Okay, wow. Okay, wow, is this drone footage? Wow, this does look pretty bad. All right, so it seems like a lot of people have died. Deadliest natural disaster ever in Kentucky, potentially. And while it's obviously getting media coverage, nothing like the magnitude of coverage that something like New York, California, or even Texas or Florida would get. Hard to miss this ingrained geographic bias. And that rings true to me. I hadn't heard of this. I didn't actually know this was going on. Maybe it's on me for not checking my phone. But okay, so there's a woman saying, sorry, Kentucky, maybe if your two senators hadn't spent decades blocking legislation to reduce climate change, you wouldn't be suffering from climate disasters. I don't really think that's a fair comment because, like, what is Kentucky gonna do, right? Like, if it had only been Kentucky blocking this, maybe, but parts of America just always get tornadoes. Like, I don't actually... it's a mean thing to say, and I should maybe have started with that. But on top of that, like, I actually don't think it's accurate. There are always these kind of one-off events, right? And so, yeah, this woman is definitely using it to sort of spin a particular narrative. Also, not buying at anyone lecturing me on how innocent people died, but don't support gun control. Okay, I support both gun control and climate change legislation. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's like face palm, I guess, time and place, right? And I also don't think it's effective. Like, everyone in Kentucky is just going to hate her and they're not going to want to do climate change. So not only is it really obnoxious, but it also makes it harder to get actual legislation passed by kind of lecturing people at these horrible times. So, yeah, and then it's like embarrassing that as a liberal, this is how people are going to perceive me, which is a very self-centered view of the thing. But so okay, I feel embarrassed by this tweet. In her defense, the tornado did cross straight lines. I mean, okay, I do find that a little funny. Can I admit that? I do. Do not forget for 1 second that Rand Paul has voted against helping most Americans most times they're in need. I have a bit more sympathy for this one. Yeah, I mean, because this one is calling out Rand Paul specifically. So I don't know. I'm not as offended by this one. The author then goes on to say, it's a tragedy. For normal people, thoughts and prayers rang out. For liberals, they chortled and loved that these people were dead. I don't really think that is a fair assessment of those previous tweets. If Rand Paul has voted against other states getting aid in situation, I can see why there's resentment. I don't think that is the same as loving that people died. But yes, I think the first woman was kind of using this to push her own political agenda. And so that one was a thing. It's a place where these people don't go because liberals only care about urban-based settings, which isn't America at all. There are people who live in places that aren't dominated by these snobbing, condescending cretins. So here's one thing that's interesting to point out is this guy is going super hard on liberals for using the death of a bunch of people in Kentucky to push their agenda, but he's doing the exact same thing. He's just doing it on the conservative side. He's using the deaths of all these people to try to push the conservative agenda that liberals are a bunch of snobby, condescending cretins or whatever it is, right? And I don't think either side of this really represents most people. I think that at the extremes, people hate each other so much that they are just going to go and they're going to use any sort of tragedy to like just cut the other person down. But, I think that the vast majority of people, this would not be where their mind went. And it's actually strange because what's weird is that Facebook actually promoted this story to me about this liberal conservative infighting before it actually told me on my feed about the tornadoes happening at all. So, I mean, this is another thing. Like, why? I mean, this article is what it is. Somebody wrote it. But why did Facebook promote this to me before telling me that there had been a tragedy, right? I think that this guy is doing exactly what he's accusing the liberals of doing, using a whole bunch of people's death to push a particular agenda. But, but on the flip side of it, this is just how the people in the extremes are going to act, right? Like the most extreme liberals and the most extreme conservatives, they are just going to behave this way. And so my real beef is like, why is Facebook showing me this trash? Why is this prioritized as a respectable thing? I don't know. Let us move on. Let us keep doom scrolling. So apparently asthma protects against brain tumors. That's kind of interesting. Sex in the City stuff. Ooh. Elizabeth Warren slams Elon Musk's Person of the Year title, saying the tax code should be changed so he stops freeloading. Okay, so that's a funny phrasing. I normally think of freeloading as being how the conservatives talk about entitlements. So it sounds like Elizabeth Warren has adopted some of that language. Okay, so it looks like maybe this was just a tweet. Someone makes it big in America, millionaire big, billionaire big. It has to be included paying it forward, so the next can get a chance too. Musk paid 0 in federal income tax. His average effective tax rate, 3.27. He got $240 billion richer during the pandemic. Most of that will go tax-free. Okay, yeah, so that last one really got to me. I honestly do have some resentment towards these people who have gotten rich off of the suffering of other people. When so many people lost so much over the pandemic, and just seeing these billionaires get richer, like, yeah, that does make my stomach turn. Okay, Elizabeth Warren, I think you're being slightly propagandistic here, but you made a compelling point. So now moving on, we have reached the point where it has told me there are a whole bunch of tornadoes, and these look like it's just reporting on the tornadoes. It's not someone trying to win points over the fact that there have been tornadoes. Factory workers threatened with firing if they left before tornado, employees say. Oh, is that true? Oh, that sucks. Employees of a candle factory, which would later be destroyed, heard the warning sirens and wanted to leave. But at least 5 workers said that supervisors warned the employees that they would be fired if they left their shifts early. At least 8 people died in the consumer products factory. All right, fearing for their safety, some left during the shift regardless of the repercussions. Okay. Oh, wow, it got leveled. Yeah, that sucks. That's really sad, actually. That really bugs me. In general, I hate how much life, love, whatever people have to sacrifice for their jobs. And, the idea that there were people who were scared and wanted to go home, but they died in a factory, because they were worried that they couldn't leave. I don't know, that's really messed up. I really don't like that. Okay, so obviously the factory's saying it's not true, and so now, of course, we get into a they said kind of thing. But what company is going to be like, yeah, we totally told our employees they couldn't go home and now they're dead? No one's going to admit if that's what they did. But, man. Yeah, I don't know. Something about that seems really horrible to me. Okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm done. I'm sufficiently shocked and depressed. I think I can call this one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I feel kind of gross after reading that. I don't feel good. But yeah. Anyway, I guess that's all I got. See you next time. Bye.